What's up, Zach?
Fellas, what is Merry Christmas from the Broncos? And I'll tell you what, Sean Payton said it doesn't have to look good. Every win is good, and that should be the takeaway from this Broncos game. And I'll tell you what, they did it on the defensive side of the ball. And despite the way it looked, they did it on the offensive side of the ball, guys. 4 drives of 14 or more plays is insane. And I'll tell you what, the Broncos were not expecting that game to go that way. Bo Nix said it after, and Sean Payton hinted after that. They expected the Chiefs to allow to bring pressure and allow the Broncos to have opportunities at big shots down the field, and that is not what the Chiefs did. Instead, the Chiefs said, we are going to make you dink and dunk down the field. And so Bo Nix, credit to him, and Sean Payton, they changed their game plan right away, and Bo took what the defense gave them. They had 3 drives of 14 plays and another drive of 16 plays. And guys, why this game wasn't a blowout, because every indication except for the score and the turnovers indicated this should have been a blowout, is because when the Broncos got in the red zone, the first 2 14-play drives, they did not capitalize on it, and they're kicking field goals instead. If the Broncos are able to get into the end zone on those capitalize in the red zone, then Benny is buying me another Payton Millar. But unfortunately, they weren't able to do that. Weren't able to win by 14 points. But the Broncos, Sean Payton said it after the game, they were not focused on the spread. Sean said multiple times they knew this team was going to have the heart of a champion, despite who they were putting out there, that they were going to fight. And so Broncos country might be like, that was a little disgusting. Not inside the locker room and with Sean Payton. They're proud of this win, and they know there's one game left of the season where they can accomplish 2 of their 3 goals.
So, Zach, man, great to see you. Merry Christmas, my brother. So I didn't actually bet. I betted you that, I would buy you a quarter zip. So do you buy me a quarter zip? What happens now? Because I told you, and I think we've talked about this before, that the NFL is not easy.
Yeah, well, Benny, I would have taken that bet, but thankfully you didn't have to make me put that on the line. You just gave me it with nothing on the other side. So, thank you for that. Because I might have to give you this, Payton Millar, if that was the case right there.
Was that a flex right there?
Was
that a flex?
Huge flex.
Yeah, I mean, guys, this was, I don't know if they said this on the broadcast, but this was the largest spread the Chiefs have been home underdogs ever at Arrowhead, ever.
Holy
and
shit.
The Broncos weren't able to cover that. But yeah, it was a huge spread. And I guess, Benny, you were right this time. I'm just waiting for the Broncos to start blowing teams out so that I can take these victory laps, that not every game is difficult in the NFL.
Zach, man, curious, Cortland had a little bit of a tough day, got a lot of targets, some tough catches right there. What did he say after the game? Did Sean or Bo say anything after the game?
Yeah, no, nothing actually about Cortland, but that does make me want to talk about the best Broncos receiver here, because right before I joined, I heard some talk about RJ Harvey, and Ryan, I'm with you. He should be higher up that list of the guys in this game, because not just for the numbers, he had the most yards from scrimmage of anyone. I don't think that was mentioned when we were doing those numbers. He also had the touchdowns, like you said, and I'll tell you what, Bo and Sean might have praised RJ Harvey after the game more than they did anyone. Sean Payton is just blown away by RJ Harvey's receiving abilities on that second touchdown where he gets open there. Sean said, I wasn't able to actually see it with my own eyes because it was so covered, and somehow RJ Harvey was able to get free at the end there to get the touchdown. And he said, when I heard cheers, I wasn't sure, because the cheers were so loud, I wasn't sure if it was an interception or a touchdown. So that's a little shout out to Broncos country for how they showed up in this game by cheering so loud that Sean thought maybe he was picked off there. And then Bo said, gave credit to RJ Harvey because his vision as a receiver is that of a quarterback. And because he's played that position before, he knows what quarterbacks want and how to manipulate a defense as a receiver because of his ability as a quarterback that he's had in the past. So that's who was really focused on in the receiving game after the game, Benny, because you're right. It was an up and down day for Cortland, because after those couple of drops, which, cost the Broncos a touchdown potentially, then he did bounce back and did have the most catches on the team, still had 10 targets. But Cortland, you're not worried that he's going to consistently have games like this?
Zach, what was the overall feeling of the locker room? I know Sean was not going to let anyone downplay a victory at Arrowhead on the road on Christmas. But what did the players feel about it?
Took care of business. They did what they needed to do. It was not. I didn't hear club dub tonight. I might have saw some smoke though coming from the locker room. So wasn't an overly crazy club dub, but they did what they had to do. They got the win. And really, the feeling in the locker room, specifically talking to Alex Singleton after the game, was we're not focused on this Saturday's Texans Chargers game. We're focused on Week 18 because that is where we can accomplish all of our regular season goals. Sean said he will be focused on that game on Saturday, and Bo really downplayed it. And that locker room really downplayed it for the most part because they're focused on the Chargers because the Broncos, it's very, very, very unlikely that they wrap up the #1 seed this weekend. 4 things have to go right for them along with that Chargers game. So they're focused on Week 18, and Bo said, man, we're happy that that's at home. And Bo, very self-aware, said, look, I've never beat the Chargers, so wouldn't this be quite the time to do it in front of the home crowd?
Zach, where'd you get your jacket? And then also, is there anything that we missed from the locker room?
Are you trying to take it from me, Benny? Is that what you want in the bet now?
Well, I mean, I think you owe me something, bro.
That's not fitting on Benny's arms. Guarantee it.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not fitting on me too much either. I got it hemmed to me last year. I'm getting a little tight in this. I don't know if it's
you've been lifting, bro. You've been lifting.
I've been lifting, also putting on some weight.
Good.
That's all. Ice cream.
I'll lend you some of mine.
Probably the ice cream too. This is my Christmas one. I had to break it out on Christmas for this. I was only going to break it out if they won, so I wasn't wearing it in the press box.
Wow.
And Bo actually complimented it. Bo said right when he started his press conference, "I like your jacket." So shout out to
Fair
Bo.
weather outfit.
No, smart weather outfit right there. I don't want to go in the locker room wearing this after they just had one of the. I mean, the question was asked before the game. I asked this question to some people around the locker room, some people with a lot of extensive knowledge of the Broncos: Andrew Mason, Chris Thomas, and Christo Mason, as you guys know him. Like, hypothetically, if they were to lose this game, it would be the most embarrassing loss since. And Andrew Mason could not think of one. So, like, that's kind of what the feeling was around this game. And I just got to give a shout out to the defense.
70-20.
Third string quarterback when you need to win in order to lock up potentially the AFC West.
72-20.
And
for sure.
Yeah. No, I don't. That was week 4. This is.
Do you remember
this
3 Christmases ago when Baker Mayfield, after being on the Rams for like 10 days, beat us like 42-10 or something?
Yeah, and how much was on the line in that game? Nothing. That's a former #1 overall pick.
I get what you're saying. It would have been the consequences would have been higher. The embarrassment of losing 70-20, I don't think will ever be eclipsed.
Well, regardless, I want to give a shout out to the defense because, guys, I think the defense might not be getting enough credit for what they did. They set the franchise record for sacks, and they did it in week 17. So they didn't need that extra game to do it. They only had 1 sack in tonight's game. I asked Sean about that, and he said we were not focused on sacks this game. We had to rush him in a contained manner because they could not let him get out of the pocket. That's how they knew that they were going to win that game, or the Chiefs were going to win that game, is if they were able to get him to run. The Broncos did a good job of keeping him in the pocket. But at the 2-minute warning in the 4th quarter, the Chiefs had 95 yards of offense. 95 yards of offense, and that was kind of going around in the Broncos locker room after the game. Was like, hey, did we even give up 100 yards? And it's like, well, once you guys were almost playing like prevent defense to make sure they didn't get in the end zone, that's when you gave up over 100. But the defense actually played masterfully. They still do not have the takeaways, which is crazy, and I know that that's going to be a major, major focus going into next week against the Chargers, against Justin Herbert, who is pretty good at not turning the ball away until he gets into playoff-type situations and then turns the ball over 4 times in their playoff game last year. And this Week 18 game is probably going to be a playoff-type situation if they beat the Texans. So maybe that's good news for the Broncos.
Your lips to God's ears.
That is. Oh, speaking of God, Bo Nix said. Bo Nix said it was a God's wink that Alex Forsythe got to start in this game after what he went through last year. And Sean Payton gave him credit too. Bo Nix said he prepares the hardest on the team. Actually, He prepares harder than anyone in the entire NFL,
Wow.
and gave so much credit to Alex
said that?
Forsythe for
Sean.
that. That was Bo, and of course they're also former teammates at Oregon too. So Bo knows Alex a lot, and of course we all know how that game ended. And so it was really cool. Luke got Alex, sorry, got a game ball after the game, which is really, really cool. And Sean said that Luke Wattenberg, who was put on IR today, is right around that 4-week timetable to come back. So he said it was a difficult decision to put him on IR. So if the Broncos do make this deep playoff run that we're expecting, Luke Wattenberg could be back a couple of weeks into the playoffs.
So are you saying that the big man upstairs had some foresight for foresight?
Bo knows, right, Ryan?
Exactly.
Zach, man, last question for me, bro. Will the Broncos blow the Chargers out next week?
Oh, please don't do this.
We'll see, Benny. We'll see. You know,
Right.
there was some
Tune in this week for when Zach says something outlandish.
Tune in this week, but how about this? I don't say anything outlandish. In the locker room, there was a little rumblings that if the Chargers were to lose this week and the Broncos clinch the AFC West, that maybe the Chargers want to tank for the 7th seed so that they can go and play the the Steelers, who will be that 4 seed.
No.
Yeah, never mind. They were wrong in the locker room. Forget that.
I think it's too hard. I think it's too hard to tank it in an NFL game.
There is a world where
that was coming from Broncos players. So I'm not saying the tank thing.
There is a world
know?
where the Chargers might not want to win the game, but it would not be for the 7 seed. It would most likely be for the 5 or 6 seed.
Right. No, you're 100% right. Yeah, that was wrong. I hadn't processed that. But guys, before we get out of here, I gotta tell you one of the coolest things that I learned after the game, because we haven't brought it up yet. That 4th and 2 at the goal line after the 2-minute warning, the Broncos were never going to snap the ball. That was all just to get them to jump off sides. And not just that. So RJ's in the as the quarterback right there in the Wildcat. It's Quinn who is calling the snap, and he goes, set hut, and that gets Chris Jones to jump. So you saw Quinn celebrate. He celebrated because not only did they get Chris Jones to jump, and that was like the play of the game, but it was Quinn that was able to draw him off sides and get that. So it was masterful. The Broncos are going to take a delay of game after that, and then they were going to kick the field goal, and who knows how the game ends. At that point, I trust the Broncos defense in that situation, but they didn't have to worry about it because then they get an RJ Harvey touchdown.
Love it, Zach. All right, Merry Christmas, bro. Get home safe. We appreciate you being on the road and working tonight.
Merry Christmas, my bro.
Know where I'd rather be and talking to you guys. Merry Christmas.
Hey, Peter Millar is on the way to this. Peter Millar for me is on the way to the studio. I wear a large QZ.
I'm sorry, I'm losing. I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Love you guys. See ya.
All right, bro. Love you too.